So I'm going to get some folks invited. I'm over also in the Fearless Visionary group, which is typically what I like to do, go live on both pages. And I'm going to get some folks invited, and we're going to get started. I think you're going to really enjoy what we're going to talk about tonight as we continue our Be Fearless series. Actually, this will be the fifth lesson in the series, and actually it's going to be our last lesson in this particular series, and then we'll be picking up with something more after that. Okay, let me get some folks invited, let folks know that I am on live, and we getting ready to take off. I'm excited about what we're going to be sharing today. This particular live stream is going to be all about activating the power to change your environment. So if you've been following our series, we've been hitting various subjects. Hey, Anisha, thanks for joining. We've been hitting various subjects on the healing journey when it comes to dealing with trauma. And you guys know my backstory dealing with sexual trauma. So we've been hitting different subjects around just that process of what it takes for you to be, to be fearless, to go through that process, to be set free, to be healed. And so tonight, like I said, we're talking about activating the power to change your environment. But if you've been following us, we talked about identifying, coming up and understanding what your identity is. We've also talked about identifying the source of a negative self-image and how that relates to imposter syndrome and how that hinders you. But we also talked about how you find your voice once you've come through the trauma. How do you understand that you are a voice and you release your sound in the earth? Because that's what's necessary. And so, hey, Pastor Q, good to see you. We're getting started here. We're over here in my personal profile, but we're also here in the Fearless Visionary community. And I'm excited about tonight because, as I was saying earlier, this will be the last teaching in the Be Fearless series, and we're going to go to something next. I won't share exactly what it is just yet, but we will be moving forward. And so hopefully you've gotten a lot of ammunition, you've gotten a lot of strategies, you've gotten a lot of help and assistance on just recalibrating yourself after you've gone through some type of trauma. My story is sexual trauma, but someone else's story may be something different. And so what I've taught is something that is universal across the board, where you can use it for whatever your situation is. And so we're going to be picking up tonight, talking about activating the power to change your environment. If you don't mind, just what you ladies are doing right now, if you can just share and invite, let folks know that we are on live. I'm going to do my best to, not go over time. I want to kind of maintain the time, but we're going to be sharing tonight. Hey, Dr. E, so good to see you, sis. Are you back home? Are you still in New Orleans? Thank you so much, Pastor Q. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. You guys can share and invite. Thank you so much for the hearts. I really appreciate that. Let folks know that we are on live, but I just need to let you know something. You are more powerful than you actually know. You see, challenges and dysfunction cannot stand against an individual who is aware and who is conscious of who they are. And so that's where we're going to be going tonight. We're going to be tapping into that space, because that's going to be important when it comes to you just recalibrating everything that is around you, you changing your environment. And we're going to talk about exactly what environment is, because there's two senses of the word when it comes to environment. So my objective today is very clear for me. It is really to help you develop your power center, so that you flow from that place, so that you have the ability to change the environment that you are in, rather than settling for chaos, for settling for disorder, for settling for dysfunction and malfunction. So let me just take a moment. If you have pen and paper, it would be awesome for you to use that right now. Anything that we write down, we can remember. But if we just listen, sometimes we can forget. But if it's on paper, it's something that you can remember, because you can always refer back to it. Thank you so much for the heart. Yes, you are powerful than you know. So let me define for you what environment is. And for me, I see environment on two planes. So the first plane is your internal environment. And when I say your internal environment, I'm talking about your thought life. I'm talking about your mentality. I'm talking about your framework. I'm talking about your belief system. It's everything that's going on right here in this space. And how many of you know that right here in this space is where things are most powerful? Right here in this invisible space where you can't see everything, but you know that there's a lot going on. It's extremely powerful. So your internal environment is your mindset, it's your belief system, it's your framework, it's your perspective, it's the lens that you look through day in and day out. Okay? Hey, Rolanda, thanks for tuning in. The next environment is your external environment, right? So we're talking about the tangible physical environment. Like right now I'm in my office. So this is my, this is my environment, right? This is my office business life right here. So this is my external environment. It's what's physical. It's what's tangible. It's what I can touch. It's my home life. It's my business life. It's actually even my circle of friends. That's my environment, is what's around me that I can physically see and I can physically touch. I can make contact with that particular area. Okay? So that's the two environments. And so we're going to be talking about tonight, how do you activate the power that's in you to change those environments? And the environments we're talking about is your internal environment and then your external environment. What do we actually do to change those environments? So if you ladies are with me, just type a 1 in the comments to let me know. Yes, to let me know that you're following, and we're going to go ahead and get this thing started. So thank you, ladies, for joining. Continue to share and invite, let folks know that we are on live, and we're going to continue to move on in the lesson. So I just wanted to give you some strategies as well as some tips. Thank you, I see that. I wanted to give you some strategies as well as some tips on how you can activate your power so that you can change your environment, okay? So this is the first one. Don't be afraid to really step into your brilliance, okay? So when I talk about brilliance, and I know we've had this conversation before, I'm talking about your zone of gifting, right? Your gift zone. This is how you activate your power. You activate your power by tapping into the gift that's buried a lot of times within you, okay? So it's your zone of brilliance is what we call it, right? It may even take you some time to really understand and be aware of exactly what that is. It's going to take you some time to discover it, not because you're just totally somebody that's oblivious to what it is, but honestly, it's going to take time because you may not even be aware of you doing it. It's second nature to you. It's like this extension of you, and you're not always aware of it, but people around you can sense it. They can see it. That's really what magnetizes people to you, is your zone and sphere of gifting. They're not after you, the person. They're after the gift that you're bringing to the world. And so the way that you change your environment, both internally and externally, is that you tap into that zone of brilliance, because that is what people are magnetized to. They can do without you, but just as long as you leave your gift, that's what's really calling them. That's really the voice that you have in the earth. Remember when we talk about being a voice? I am a voice. That gifting is that voice. It's that sound. It's that, is what really draws people to you. Is what unlocks your life. Remember we talked about that? How the sound that you make in the earth unlocks your life. And people can read it. People can see it. People can experience it. People can enjoy it. So you have to, of course, hey, Marsha, tap into your brilliance. And this is another key to that. When you tap into that zone of brilliance, into that gifting, hey, Lynn, into that gift zone, you need to make sure that the expectation is that you're not fitting into someone else's box. someone else's bubble. Because oftentimes what your gift does for you is honestly it sets you apart because it makes you unique. It makes you who you are. It makes you the person that people are like, oh my goodness, how did she do that? How was she able to conquer that? How was she able to go here? How was she able to do this thing? When you're in your gift, you're in your grace. And so what people are seeing is your grace. And it's like and that grace is like that extra cloth or that extra covering that's placed on top of you that makes you even that more supernatural. It makes you that more have that more superpower. Okay, so grace to you when you're activating and walking in your gift is a superpower. Hey Taisha, hey Darnisha, thank you ladies for joining. Hey Deidre, good to see you, sis. Okay. So your approach is going to be unique. Your approach is going to be different. And what you have to make sure that when you're there, because you're about activating your power, right? You have to make sure that you don't allow other people to put you in a box. Because your gift is not going to allow you to fit in. Because you're looking specifically for your space on the earth that you need to create. So don't allow others to cause you to fit into something that was never intended for you. So sometimes your gifts will even offend people because they feel like you should be doing one thing when in actuality you should be really operating and flowing in the zone of your gift. Yes. Yes. So Tracy said, love that you live your gift with grace. That's right. Hey Latrice, thanks for joining us. That's right. Okay? So the first strategy is don't be afraid to step into your brilliance. That's like an instant power activator. When I say instant, it activates your power zone, your power center, just like that. Because it's that extension of you, that natural extension that flows from you. Yes. All right, so number 2, I need for you to understand this. Understand that you were designed with an innate authority, right? You were designed with an innate authority. Like that is just a part of who you are. Authority is a part of who you are. But what happens in life is that life and society and the world tells us that we're powerless, that we don't have any authority, that we have to submit to this and to submit to that we can't step out and be who we've really been called to be. So it's the mandate. There's a mandate that has been subconsciously programmed into every human being on the earth. Get this. There is a subconscious mandate that has been programmed into every human being on this earth, every individual on this earth. And this mandate is for you to be fruitful. So we're talking about for you to prosper, for you to grow, for you to develop. It is a mandate for you to multiply, for you to reproduce, right? You're not only just fruitful and being prosperous, but you're reproducing. You're raising up others. You're causing others to stand tall in your presence. You're causing them also to see their fruitfulness and what they've been called to do. It's also a mandate for you to fill the earth with your ideas, the ideas that you get, for you to convert those ideas into physical, tangible things that has the ability to serve others where they may be having problems, right? It's a solution. You're bringing solutions. Hey, Dr. Eve, you're bringing solutions to others, and they're serving, right? You're serving people from that place. But it's also a mandate of dominion. And when we say dominion, we're talking about you taking charge. We're talking about you dominating. We're talking about you having mastery. We're talking about you leading and that you are setting the tone. So there's this power, ladies, if you didn't know, that's on the inside of you that is innate to who you are. It is your authority. And if you never tap into the authority, you will always feel like you're powerless. You will always have the enemies that come to taunt your soul, the pain, the confusion, the anxiety, the stress, the lack, the poverty. Those things will always taunt you have this authority. So what's important is for you to tap into that authority, because by nature, you were created to be a multiplier. And so that means that situations that come into your life to diminish that in you really don't have a chance. And so you got to know that. Just say that really quickly. Just type that. By nature, I am a multiplier. By nature, I'm saying over ladies, by nature, you are a multiplier. So that means that there's any situation, any circumstance that comes that's geared, its entire intent is to diminish you, you have the authority over it to wipe it clean out. Did you get that? It cannot even stand in your presence because you have just that much authority. But if you never tap into that authority, you're powerless. Yes, by nature, I am a multiplier. Yes. Hey, Natalie. Right? So you're supposed to walk so much in that authority, literally, when you enter spaces. And if there's chaos that's going on, you're supposed to be able to shift and recalibrate the chaos because of the fact that you are a multiplier. You don't diminish in the face of chaos. You cause chaos to submit to you. That's that innate authority that you have to tap into. And that too causes environments to change around you. Are you ladies following me? Yes, environments change around you because you tapped into that authority that you have, right? And honestly, the reason why the chaos cannot stand in your presence when you show up on the scene is simply because of the fact that it recognizes that authority on you. It recognizes that leadership on you. It recognizes that mastery on you. So it doesn't have a chance to stand. All right, so the first one, ladies, yes. Thank you, Tracy. The first one is don't be afraid to step into your brilliance, which is your zone of gifting, your place of gifting where you shine, where you sparkle, where no one can compete with you because you're in a category all by yourself, where you're operating in your uniqueness. If you tap into that, you can change your situation. The second one is to understand you were designed with an innate authority. And it gives you, it's a subconscious mandate that has been given and has been programmed in every individual on the earth to be fruitful and prosperous, to multiply and to reproduce, to fill the earth with your ideas and your solutions, and to dominate in whatever area you are in. That is your level of mastery. Yes. All right. So number 3, and we're almost there, ladies. Number 3 is understand what needs to change and begin to show up there. Because we just talked about how you have this innate authority. So everything that is malfunctioning and is dysfunctioning understands who you are. But because you don't yet understand who you are, those things are allowed to stay there until you step into your position of authority and call it down. Okay? So understand what needs to change and where it needs to change, because you're always called to a place, and then you need to start showing up there. If there's something that really bothers you and pains you, something that you don't like, something that really bothers you, you need to start showing up there. Like in this community, in the Fearless Visionary community, we're talking about social injustices that have been done against women. Violence. Mine is around violence against women and girls. That really bothers me. So what that means is that I need to begin to start showing up in places where maybe that's going on, or places that have the power to change those situations that I can collaborate with to change those situations. because your gift is always called to a place. So to cause that gift to operate at the highest level, you need to be in the right place. Right? Be in the right place. Yes. Yes. Hey, Rochelle, thanks for joining us. Because this is what happens. When you know where the change needs to take place and you understand what your area of gifting could do in that space, then when you start showing up, things begin to shift to accommodate you. Right? Things begin to shift to accommodate who you are. Things begin to be like, oh, wait a minute. Okay, who is that? Is that Rochelle showing up? Oh, well, you guys, you know what she comes, when she comes, what she talks about, what she's about, what she bleeds, when she bleeds, what's a core value for her. Okay, now we're going to have to accommodate her. We can't talk like that. Well, we can't say those things. We can't do those things because Yolanda has showed up. So we got to be able to recognize those things, right? So things begin to shift to accommodate you. And those things we're talking about are the environment. The environment begins to shift, yes, to accommodate you. Oh, I'm sorry. Looks like Facebook is having some difficulties. Wow, I'm seeing all of the event logs. Ladies, if you guys are not able to watch in the community, you can also go to my personal page because I'm also on my personal profile. Yes, on my personal profile, I'm live as well. So if you're having too many issues in the Fearless Visionary community, just come over to my personal profile and I'm on live. Love you too, Tracy. All right, be safe. Hey, Phyllis, Miss Phyllis. Right? So I want you to do, because you understand that, what you should know is that you have to use your power of speaking to begin to institute change. There's power in this part of you, your mouth. Yeah. You have to begin to speak from your mouth because you've been designed to be a speaking spirit. Yes. Hey, Miss Phyllis, you are a speaking spirit. And so whatever it is that you say is what you have the ability to manifest. What you don't say remains, but whatever it is that you say, you begin to manifest it because now you're willing to confront it. Now you're willing to stand up against it and say, okay, wait a minute. Do you know who you're in the presence of, right? So what you say manifests, it comes to life. And so you got to be able to tap into your power center by using your mouth and showing up in the places that you're supposed to be showing up so that you can be a voice for the people who are still yet voiceless, for the women who still yet don't know what to say, who are afraid to speak out, who are afraid to open up their mouths and to be singled out. You need to be able to show up so that you can be a voice. Okay? And then this is number 4, ladies. Know that if you work on your internal environment, naturally your external environment will shift. You're always going to experience a shift in your physical environment when your mental environment, your internal invisible environment is challenged. Right? When you start to really work in that space. Because we already talked about it, words have power and thoughts have power too. So your current environment, what people see in your life, what you're experiencing in your mind is honestly just a manifestation of what you're thinking and the words that you're speaking. That's how powerful it is. Whatever it is that you're thinking and whatever it is that you're speaking creates the environment that surrounds you. So if you don't like what you're seeing, start changing what you're saying and what you're thinking. Did y'all get that? If you don't like what you're seeing, Start changing what you're saying and what you're thinking. Yes, Lynn said facts. So we got to change what we're speaking and what we're thinking in order for there to be a shift in the natural environment that's around us. So those invisible things are often the most powerful to manifesting the visible things, right? And everything originates from a thought. So I want you ladies to write this down. It starts as a thought. And when you capture that thought, it becomes words. And you begin to speak these words. When you speak these words, it causes action to happen. When action happens and you've done these actions enough time, it sets in as a habit. And once it becomes a habit and is a part of your natural routine, then now it's a part of your character, a part of now your core value DNA. And when it becomes a part of your character, it's your reality. No matter what you do, this is going to be the same reality. This is going to be the same thing that you see and that you get. So it's thoughts, it's words. The words turn into action. The action turns into habits. The habits turn into character. And then the character turns into reality. Hey, Sheila, nice to see you, sissy. Hey, Yolanda, right? So your thoughts turn into words. The words turn into action. The action turn into habits. The habits turn into character. And then the character turns into reality. And so I'll say it again, ladies. You are more powerful than you know. The challenges and the dysfunction that you see around you cannot stand against an individual who understands and knows their power. When you can understand that you were designed with an innate authority and this a mandate to be fruitful, to prosper, to fill the earth, to multiply, to dominate wherever you are, then those things cannot stand against you. They're going to fall to the ground because they're not even worthy to stand in the presence of someone who has that much power and authority. So the four things I want you to be aware of to activate your power is don't be afraid to step into your brilliance. Understand you were designed with innate authority. Understand what needs to change and begin to show up there because your gift has to be there in order for you to activate that power. And then number 4, know that if you work on your internal environment, naturally your external environment is going to benefit from it. It's going to shift. It's going to change because your words are more powerful. Your thoughts are more powerful than anything else because your thoughts leads to your words lead to your action leads to your habits lead to your character, and your character creates your environment. Last time we said it was reality, but the reality and the environment is the same thing. Hey, Lavon. So hopefully, ladies, you got something out of the live stream this evening. I wanted to keep it down to less than an hour and a half, or less than a half an hour, not an hour and a half, less than 30 minutes. So if you have not gotten the other teachings in the Be Fearless series, I want you to go back into the community and you want to look for 3 keys to healing the pain of sexual violence, identifying the source of a negative self-image, where we're talking about the imposter syndrome, 3 keys or 3 steps to finding your voice, actual sexual violence, because you are a voice, keys to identifying your identity, and then tonight, activating the power to change your environment. So that concludes our Be Fearless series. Thank you, ladies, for rocking with me over the past, what it has been, 6 weeks maybe. Now 5 or 6 weeks that we've been doing this. Thank you, ladies, for rocking with me on Friday nights. Stay tuned for the next series that we're going to be doing. It's going to bless your life. Again, thank you, ladies, for tuning in. You have an incredible Friday. I love you guys, and take care. Bye, ladies. See you ladies later. Bye, Miss Lynn. Bye, Sheila.